So I got a email from YouTube saying that the interview that I did with Naya has been blocked by a lot of countries from viewership, and then also anybody that will watch the video from now on will get this warning to start with. The following content has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences. And then you'll click it and you'll proceed. I just think it's unreal. So I got the email today. It said, "We received a legal complaint regarding your video. After review, the following video, Naya NDE, Talk to Jesus, and Michael Jackson, Who Killed JFK, has been blocked from view on the following YouTube countries: Austria, Bulgaria, Switzerland, Chechnya, Germany, Estonia, France, UK, French Ghana," a whole bunch of these, right? Israel, Italy, let's see. So just saying, if you live in Italy or the UK or Germany, that video is blocked. Isn't that something? People can watch all kinds of garbage on the news, right? We can see people, or they don't show, but they talk about people dying and going to war and cops being shot and people being killed. That's okay. But somebody that died and went to the other side can't talk about it because it's offensive and it promotes violence. It doesn't jive with their religion. We're interfering with their religious rights. That was the first of two emails. The second email goes into it a little more of an explanation. It says, video content restrictions. We believe in the principles of free speech, even when that speech is unpopular or potentially offensive to some viewers. However, YouTube doesn't allow hate speech or content that promotes or incites violence. In some cases, flagged videos that do not clearly breach the community guidelines but whose content is potentially controversial or offensive may remain up, but with some features disabled. Your video will be shown after a warning message. In addition, certain features such as comments, sharing, thumbs up, and suggested videos have been disabled. Your video is also not eligible for monetization. That doesn't matter. None of my videos are eligible for monetization. So this thing, you cannot even comment now on that video. You can't even give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That is just unbelievable. I mean, I understand that, yeah, this is YouTube. It's their company. It's their platform. They call the shots. And I am just a guest, ultimately, on YouTube, right? It's like being a renter. Ultimately, you have to abide by the landlord's rules because you don't own the place. So I understand I don't own my channel. They can delete my channel if they wanted to, right? They don't have to have a reason. There's no constitutional right that says I am entitled to a YouTube channel. But I just find this unsettling that here's somebody that I interviewed that no way was that video promoting anything, right? Naya has said many times, you don't have to believe what she says, but she's just telling you what she says. And it amazes me that people get so offended. And I'll just wrap the video up by saying this, that I get a lot of comments now. I mean, the videos, I have not done any new interviews or videos in quite a while. But people still watch the Kelly Page, the Naya, the Jerome Braggs. And I'm amazed of all the just shitty comments, really. People closed-minded. Here's one here. Here's just typical. I'll just read a couple of them, but this one just came in yesterday. After having my own NDE, researching and reading about many NDEs, and watching many videos about NDEs, I am starting to notice a trend towards these type of self-centered stories where the experiencer fails to give glory to God and it's all about them, others are also pushing this new age garbage about self creating and trying to express it with a self perceived superior intellect about it. Do not be deceived. And I wrote the person back. I said, you obviously haven't seen too many NDE videos because most of them are about the fact that we are creator gods. People get offended if they don't see Jesus, then they're mad. And I'm like, what do you want to even watch videos? I think they know offhand that there's probably a 90% chance they're going to be offended, right? Then the person, so I did a little friendly conversation, debate. And then the person, gave their opinion and said, you can block me if you want. And I said, I'm never for blocking people. You have the right for your beliefs and the free will to post them. And I've had a lot of people say, oh, wait, just block them. Why don't you just ban them? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? They're entitled to their opinion, right? And people can also, people got to see this too. They got to see what goes on, right? They got to see, hey, this is what's happening out there, right? There's a lot of people that still don't get it. But here's another one. This came in 4 days ago. Odd how everyone that dies and returns has an experience with either God or Jesus. Muslims do not have this same experience. But even more odd that Jesus himself said in Ecclesiastes 9:5 that the dead know nothing. Was Jesus a liar? And see, these people, they just have an agenda, right? They just want to push the Jesus story, and if Jesus isn't mentioned or given glory, then they just want to pick a fight. Let's see. Well, about that Naya video, I've never had any outrageously hostile comments or complaints about that. So I don't know. Somebody just must have reported it, but never said anything about it. I mean, what gets me, right? You have the freedom to comment on that video, the one that was the controversial one, the Naya talk to Jesus and Michael Jackson. You have a right to comment. Isn't that good enough? Isn't that good enough for someone to say, I don't believe in this, or I believe it's horseshit? But no, they gotta block it. They gotta have it blocked in countries. You cannot watch this now. We will deny you what someone saw on the other side. That's great. Yeah. So just let them stick to the Bible or the Muslim book or the Quran or whatever, right? That's okay. But someone that goes the other side, now we'll block that. We'll ban that. Here's another comment. And some people say these things are hallucinations. Of course, I'm not a scientist or an angel, yogi, etc., but I feel it's true. Life cannot end with death. That's a good video, but even she recognizes the many people that comment about it. Here's one that the Naya, maybe this is the one that reported it, right? This woman is either deceived or a deceiver. And if you believe her, you're a fool. Just pull up a few more. Here's on the Kelly page. And a lot of people bash Kelly. And they'll say she has an agenda and all that stuff. When I did that first video with her, I had to literally twist her arm. There's a lot of stuff she didn't want to talk about. I'm like, oh, come on, people, they need to hear the truth. And yet all these commenters will think that she just had this agenda. No, she just set out to do that. There are just too many people who have shared their NDE stories and have clearly said that Jesus came to them on the other side and that he is more than real. You know, I've seen a lot of NDE videos, and I would say the majority would say that Jesus and the Bible and religions is bullshit. Maybe not by a long shot. Maybe 60%, because there's certainly a lot of Jesus NDE videos. Maybe more than that. Maybe about 65, 70% say it's bullshit. So these people, they just have an agenda, right? Like, where do they see all these Jesus NDE videos, right? The ones I watched, you know, they're not in the majority. Here's one. This is for the Naya video. That one. This one's funny, right? This person is called a child of God. She's LOL. Too funny. Who was this again? Oh yeah, no one. So everyone's a child of God according to this person, but I imagine it's a woman, might be a guy, but he or she's calling Naya a nobody, a no one. Okay, that's makes a lot of sense. Here's one from Kel 3 weeks ago from the Naya video that's in controversy. Sorry, folks. There are actual written documents from court record keepers who were present when Jesus lived and was crucified. They wrote the accounts of the meeting him and his crucifixion. There were non-religious documentations as well. Look it up. You know, come on, we're talking 2,000 years ago. The only record keeper that I know of what was that guy's name? Like Philo or something like that. And he wasn't a record keeper. He just wrote. He basically just took the Bible and made it like a historical document in the Old Testament as well. And it wasn't Philo, it was somebody in that time. I can't remember. Anyhow, let's see some more comments. Here's one for the Rich Kelly video that I did. This guy needs Jesus. See that right there? Somebody dies, goes the other side, and is seeing the truth, right? And these people would rather believe an old book than they would that someone had an experience. And that's what I say. I normally don't comment back to these, but it's amazing that they will ignore someone who had an experience. Someone with really no agenda. It's like, hey, I had an experience. I had an out-of-body experience, or I died, went to the other side. This is what I saw. People will call them a liar, but say, let me believe this old 2,000-year-old book, just the New Testament, right? The Old Testament's, like another 1,000 or something, right? Let me believe this 3,000-year-old book that's filled with slavery, pro-slavery, men can have multiple wives. You know the story. If you don't believe you're going to go to hell and burn forever, I'd rather believe that than somebody that just had a near-death experience. Here's another one for Kelly Page. This was a month ago. With all due respect, Kelly, it is my experience and belief that the Bible is is an unveiling of God, who is love, whose image we all uniquely express, seen clearly in the life of Jesus. And it is the Holy Spirit of love which is moving us forward into our common, eternal, and infinite destiny. That's it, people. I mean, you're free to believe what you want, but I just don't know why I don't know why people are so damn closed-minded. Here's one. You talk a lot of shit. I'll place my faith in the Bible's teachings rather than what this woman is promoting. That's another one for Kelly Page. So, I mean, there you go. So we have really freedoms being censored. Again, they have the right to censor that because they own the site. But it's amazing. It's amazing how people will get so upset. They will be so hypersensitive. Instead of just leaving some bad comments, no, I've got to report this. I've got to have it blocked. Just like, the old book burnings, right? We will deny people. It's like, we know what's best for you. We will burn these books so you cannot have access to them. And that's what they did with this video. It's been disabled in many countries because we don't want you to see it. So, tell me what you think.